Hello everyone and welcome to this new tutorial on my channel, and in this video I'll be showing you how to make this hanging plant, and it has got these little roses. I will try to explain the pattern in a beginner friendly manner, but if you get any questions during the video, please comment them down below. Also, if you like the video, don't forget to give the thumbs up, this would help me a lot, and let's get started. You'll need beige or white for the planter, brown for the soil, green for the vines, and the color for the roses. I'll be making this one in purple. Also, the yarn I'm using is a combination of 60% cotton with 40% acrylic. You'll need a crochet hook. I'm using a 3mm hook, scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker, and some stuffing. Alright, so first we're going to make the planter. So for that, grab your white or beige yarn. And we're going to start off by making a magic circle. Now, if you're not entirely sure how to do this, I've got a separate video on my channel explaining how I'm always doing it, and I will link that down below in the description. Alright, so we're going to make the planter using double crochets. There are several ways in which you can start a round of double crochets. I think the most common one is the chain 3 method. So for that, we're going to yarn over, pull through, that's our first chain. We're going to make 2 more, so 1, 2, 3. And then this chain at the top will be your first double crochet, which you're going to use as a stitch. However, this method will create gaps into your work. So I'll be showing you a different method, which I will be using. However, if you want to use this method, you can do that as well. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a standing double crochet. So first we're going to extend this loop right here. We're going to make it bigger till something like this. Then we're going to keep it in place by pushing our index finger up here and pressing it down like this. Now we're going to go underneath this loop with our crochet hook, and we're going to yarn over just like that. So we have our loop like this. We're going to keep our index finger up here, press it down, and yarn underneath like that. Then we're gonna go into the magic circle and pick up a loop and pull it through. Now we're just going to do a double crochet. So again, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops on our crochet hook. Then again, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So this will be our first double crochet of the round. Okay, so now for the first round, we're going to make a total of 14 double crochets. So 1 standing double crochet and 13 regular double crochet. So let's do that. You just yarn over, go into the magic circle, pick up a loop. Now you got 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. That's our second double crochet. All right, do this till you get a total of 14 double crochet. All right, so once you've done 14 double crochet, we can close the magic circle. Like that. And now we're going to do a slip stitch into the standing double crochet that we did. So that's the stitch right here, or in the 3rd chain that you did if you're using the chain 3 method. So if you're not sure which one is your first stitch, remember that you can always count backwards. So we did a total of 14 double crochet. Now if you count this as your first stitch, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. So this is the first one we should be going into. So that's just a little trick I use when I'm not sure which one is the first stitch I should go into. So into this one we're going to do a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through the stitch and pull through the loop on your crochet hook. Now this is the stitch we'll be putting our stitch marker into. Like that. And that was it for the first round. Now for the second round, we're just going to do a round of increases. So into each stitch, we'll be doing 2 double crochet. Now for the first one, we'll be doing the standing double crochet again. So pull up a loop, yarn underneath like that. Then find your first stitch, that's the one right here, and do a double crochet. So yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, like that. Now we're gonna yarn over and go back into the same space that we just did our standing double crochet into. So go back in here, okay, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So now we did our first increase. We're going to do this all the way around, and because of that, we're gonna go up from a stitch count of 14 to a stitch count of 28. So let's do that, and I will see you at the end of round 2. All right, so once you're at the stitch marker, we're going to take that one out, and this will be our last increase. So yarn over, go in here, do a double crochet, and do it once again. So now you should be having 28 stitches around. Now find our standing double crochet and do a slip stitch into that one. All right, now we're going to insert our stitch marker. And that was it for the second round. Now for the third round, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. However, we're going to work into the back loops only. So that means if you see the V like this, we're not going underneath the entire V like that. We're just going to grab the back loops only. So that's the right side of the V. So we're going to skip this one and we're only going underneath the back loop like that. All right. So first let's do our standing double crochet. So pull up a loop, go underneath there, find our first stitch, that's this one, and we're going into the back loop only. So go like this and just do a double crochet. Like that. That's our first double crochet. We're going to make double crochets all the way around, so the stitch count won't change. Okay, so grab the back loop only and do a double crochet. Okay, do this all the way around and I will meet you at the end of round 3. Okay, pull out the stitch marker and this is our last double crochet. Like that. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into our standing double crochet. So this might be a little difficult. And that was it for round 3. All right, so let's insert our stitch marker again. And now for round 4 to round 6, so for a total of 3 rounds, we're just going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch that we got around. So the stitch count won't change and we will just be doing 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 3 more rounds. Okay, so I will meet you at the end of round 6. All right, so I just finished round 6 and now it should look something like this. And now we can insert our stitch marker again, because we're going to do the last round, and round 7 will just be a round of slip stitches, and we're doing that just to make the edge look a bit nicer. So we're going to find our next stitch, that's the one right there, and we're going to do a slip stitch like so. Just do this all the way around and I will meet you at the end of round 7. All right, so I'm at my last slip stitch I'm going to do that one right here. And now round 7 is finished. Now we're going to make the chains, which will be at the top of our work, like this. So for that, we're first going to chain 80. So that's a long chain. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 79 and 80. All right, so now our chain is finished. This probably took you some time, but now we can attach it to our planter again. So we're going to attach it to the 9th stitch going from the chain. So we're going to count here. This is the stitch attached to the chain. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Into this stitch right here, we're going to do a slip stitch. So insert your crochet hook right there. Like that. And just do a slip stitch. So yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, now we can cut off this yarn. And just pull it through like this. All right. So now this chain is already attached. We're going to make one more chain on this side. All right, so for that, we're again going to count the 9th stitch going from this chain right here. So this is the stitch attached to the chain. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to insert our crochet hook right there. Okay, then we're going to grab our yarn. We're going to put that onto our crochet hook and just pull it through the stitch like this to create a loop. Now we're going to keep the short yarn end underneath our right index finger, and we're going to tighten it by putting the long yarn end right here. Okay, by that we can start making the chain, and for the 3rd strand we're going to make 35 chains. So yarn over and go through the loop on our hook. That's our first chain. We're going to make a total of 35, and I will see you once we got 35 chains. All right, so once you got 35 chains, we're going to cut off the yarn and make sure you leave quite a long yarn end, because we're going to need that for sewing. So preferably a bit too long, then a bit too short, something like this. Then we can pull through. And now all of these strands are finished. We just need to put them together. So for putting them together, we're going to use this strand attached to the 3rd chain that we made. And we're going to twist it around like this, so that we have a little loop here to hang it somewhere. And that they are all secure together. So let's just do that. All right. We're going to grab our darning needle and attach it to the yarn end. Like so. And now we're going to put all of these strands together and make sure that the basket, the planter, is straight when these are together. So just grab them together like this. All right. Now I'm going to hold it right here and I'm going to check whether the planter is straight. And I think it should be a little more like this. So I'm going to pull this strand a little bit. Okay. You can try pulling it down and see whether anything pulls more, whether one chain pulls more than the other. All right. I think it is straight like this. So I'm just going to start sewing it together. Okay, so really make sure that you keep it like this. I'm going to put it in my other hand right now. Now we're just going to twist this around. So let's keep it between our fingers and just twist it like that. Now, if you want this loop to be bigger, you can keep it like this. You can, if you want to make it smaller, you can go like this also. Okay, just make sure that you do this tightly. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to stop right here. And now I don't have that much yarn left, so maybe I should have made the tail a bit longer even, but we'll work it out. Okay, so now to make a knot, we're gonna go in right here and gonna come out at the top. So go underneath of the strands that we just made and pull it through. Okay, pull that tightly. Now we're gonna go back, but we're not gonna go in the exact same space. So we're gonna move a little to the side, for example, right there, and go back. All right. Just like that. Now I'm going back once more to this side at the top. Okay, and then I'm going to make a knot somewhere. So I'm going to grab one strap randomly. It doesn't need to be an exact one. So for example, this one right here. I'm going to create a loop. Don't pull it through entirely. All right, then I want to go into the loop with my darning needle, but my yarn end is too short. So I'm going to pull it out. Okay, put my darning needle through there. Put the yarn end through my darning needle again. We have to be a little creative. If my yarn would have been longer, I would not have this issue right now. Okay. Like that. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull it through. And by that I am creating a knot into my work. Like that. Now I'm going to go back once more and then I'm going to cut off the yarn. So I think I'll have to do it once again like this. All right, and just pull it down like this. Okay, now we can cut off the yarn. And now the top part is secured. Now we still got these loose yarn ends here at the bottom. We got 2 of them. So let's hide these into our work. So attach it to your darning needle. Okay, let's bring it to the inside like this. And now we're just going to move our darning needle underneath, you know, through some stitches. Just so that it's hidden. For example, like that. Okay, then I'm gonna go in one more direction. Like that. Okay. Then we can cut off this yarn as well. Okay, do the same thing for this one right here, and after that our planter is finished. Alright, so now our little planter is finished and we can start making the soil. So for that, grab your brown yarn, and we're once again going to start by making a magic circle. Like that. Now for the first round, we're going to make 14 double crochet. So we're going to start by making a standing double crochet, and after that we're going to do 13 regular double crochet. So let's do that. Pull up a loop, keep our finger up here, and just make a double crochet. Like that. Now we're going to make a total of 14, and I will see you at the end of round 1. Alright, once you got 14 double crochet, we can start closing the magic circle. Like that. And then let's do a slip stitch into the standing double crochet that we did. Alright, let's put our stitch marker into the slip stitch. And by that, the first round is finished. Now for round 2, we're going to do 2 double crochet in each of the stitches that we got around. So because of that, we're going to go up from a stitch count of 14 to a stitch count of 28. Alright, so let's do that. First, do a standing double crochet. Go into the first stitch and just do a double crochet. Alright. Now we're going to yarn over, go back into the same space and do a double crochet in there. Now we did our first increase. We're going to do this all the way around, and I will meet you at the end of round 2. Alright, so that was our last increase. Now do a slip stitch into the standing double crochet. Like that, and by that the soil is actually already finished. We just need to cut off this yarn right here. Okay, pull it through, and that's it for the soil. Now we're going to start making the green vines. So for that, grab your green yarn. We're going to start off by making a slip knot like this. Then we're going to do 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now into the 4th chain from the hook, so that's the first chain we did basically, we're going to make a bubble stitch. So let's just do that together. We're going to yarn over, go into the first chain right here. Okay, yarn over, pull through. Now we got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook, like this. Now we're going to keep this on our hook, and we're going to yarn over once again, go back into this same space right here. Okay, yarn over and pull through. Now we got 4 loops on our crochet hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and now we got 3 loops on our crochet hook. Okay, yarn over, go into the space right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our crochet hook. Okay, so right now we got 4 loops on our hook. We're going to do it once more, so yarn over, go back to the same space, pull through, okay, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. And because of that, you should be having 5 loops on your crochet hook. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through all of these 5 loops on our crochet hook, like that. Then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do a slip stitch into this same space right there. All right, so that's our first leaf right here. We're going to make a lot of these. So first we're going to make a chain because we're gonna want to have some spacing in between the leaves right here. Maybe, as you can already see, the length differs. So here I made less chains in between the two leaves compared to this one. And I do that to make the vines look more natural. You don't have to do this, but that's something I do. So something I keep in mind is I make chains of around 9. So sometimes I do 7, sometimes 8, sometimes 9, sometimes 10, sometimes 11, sometimes maybe even 12 or 6. So you should take 9 as an average, I would say, but you can just do your own thing, of course. So for example, let's do 9 chains right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right. So now we could start making our second leaf. So let's do that. We're going to do the same thing. So into the 4th chain from our crochet hook, we're going to make a bubble stitch. So for that, we're going to yarn over, go into this chain right here. Okay, pull through. Now we're going to pull through the first 2 loops on our hook and keep this one on our crochet hook. Okay, we're going to repeat that till we get a total of 5 loops. So yarn over, go into space, and go through the first 2 loops. Okay, yarn over, go through the first 2 loops, yarn over, and go through the first 2 loops. Okay, once you got a total of 5, we're going to yarn over and pull through all of the 5 loops on our crochet hook. We're going to make 3 chains like this and slip stitch into the same space right here. All right, so this is our bubble stitch and our second leaf on the vine. Now let's do 7 chains, for example. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now once again, let's make a leaf. So yarn over into the 4th chain from the hook. Let's do a bubble stitch. Pull through the first 2. Pull through the first 2. Pull through the first 2. And for one last time, let's pull through the first 2 stitches. So now we got a total of 5 loops. Yarn over, pull through all of the 5 loops, make 3 chains, and do a slip stitch into this space right here. All right, as you can see, these are closer together than this one. Now let's do 11 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, let's make another leaf. So into the 4th chain, we're going to make a bubble stitch. Like that, yarn over, pull through the 5 loops, make 3 chains. Okay, do a slip stitch right here. And that is our 4th leaf already. All right, so you can just make these as long as you would like. What I do is I make 3 vines of 8 leaves. So then you would have to make 4 more. I make 3 of 9 leaves and I make 3 of 10 leaves. But this is just something I did for this plant right here. You can, of course, do it differently if you want to. If you want to make it shorter, you can. If you want to make it longer, you can do that as well. But this is just how I did it for this plant right here. So right now, let's, for example, make one with 9 leaves. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, now into the 4th chain, we're going to make a bubble stitch. Okay. Like that. Now we've already got the 5 leaves. Now, for example, let's do 9 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make a bubble stitch. Okay, chain 3. Now we've already got 6 leaves. I'm just doing this vine together with you so that you can just see how I would do it for all of the vines as an example. Okay, now I'm gonna do, for example, 8 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now let's make a bubble stitch. All right. Now we have got 7 leaves. Okay, let's do 12 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now we got a total of 8 leaves. Let's make one more. So let's do, for example, 9 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so this was our last leaf for this vine right here. Now to finish it off, you can do a couple of more chains if you want to make it a bit longer. I think I want to do like 2 more chains, but you can do that randomly as well. And if you vary that between the vines, then it will look more natural at the top as well. Okay, so let's cut off the yarn. Let's make it a bit long like this. Okay, pull it through. All right, so now our first vine is almost finished. We're just going to hide this yarn end right here. So just attach that to your darning needle. And hide it by going through some stitches. Like that, for example. Go through there. And then we can already cut off the yarn. Now we're going to make a total of 9 of these vines. And as I already said, I'm making 3 with 8 leaves, 3 with 9 leaves, and 3 with 10 leaves. But you can do it however you want. If you want to make more than 9 vines, that's also fine. Or if you want to make less, just do whatever you want. I will show you how to do it with 9 vines after this. Alright, so I finished making all of the vines. This will take you quite some time. After this we can start making the little roses. Alright, so grab the color that you would like to use for making the roses. And we're going to start off by making a slip knot again. So just like that. I'm going to make a slip knot. And now we're going to make 10 chains. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now into the third chain from the hook, we're going to do a double crochet. So let's go in there and do a double crochet. After that, in the next 6 chains, we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we're basically going to do increases. So for the next 6 chains, so that's all of the chains except for the last one right here. So let's do that. Yarn over, go into the next chain and do a double crochet. Yarn over, go into the same space and do another double crochet in there. Like that. Let's do that all the way across. And right now we have arrived at the last chain. So for that, we're first just going to do a double crochet in there. After that, we're going to chain 2. So 1, 2, and we're going to do a slip stitch into the same space right there. Like that. Then we can cut off the yarn, leave quite some into it because we're gonna need that for sewing it onto the vines. So for example, like that, and pull it through. Now we're going to hide this short yarn end. Into our work, so just attach it to your darning needle. Go through some stitches. Like that. Okay, push it through. And then we can cut off the yarn. Like that. And by that, our first little rose is finished, because right now it still looks a bit odd, but we're gonna, roll it like this. And then it will look like a little rose, and we're going to use this one for sewing it into shape and sewing it onto the vines. So now I'm going to make a total of 24 roses, and I'm doing that because I'm attaching 3 roses to the vines of 10 and 9 leaves, and I'm going to attach 2 roses to the vine of 8 leaves. So that's just something I calculated and which I think looks nice, but if you want to make more roses, you can do that. Or if you want to make less roses, you can do that as well. But I'm going to make a total of 24. So I will see you once you got enough roses. So these are 24 roses right here, and it looks a bit chaotic, but it will be okay. So let's grab our first little rose right here, and let's put that into shape. So for that, I'm going to grab this side, so not the side attached to the yarn end, but the other side, and I'm just going to roll that inwards like that, till we get this little rose shape. All right, now I'm going to grab the yarn end and I'm going to attach that to my darning needle. And basically, I'm just going to secure the shape by moving my darning needle from one side to the other side, from one side to the other side, into our work. All right, so let's do that. We're gonna find a space close to our yarn end in our work. So for example, right here. And we're just going to push our darning needle through our work till we come out at the other side, like this. Then we're going to push it through. Now let's move back once again, so move a little to the side. So for example, right there, and go back to that side of the rose. All right. Now let's make a strand like this. So we already did it like this. Let's make a vertical one. So go to that side of the rose. Now this part doesn't need to be precise. You just have to make sure that the shape is secured. All right, so now let's go to the other side of the rose again. And let's come out in the middle of the bottom of our rose, so that we can sew it onto the vine. All right, so now the little shape is secured. This doesn't need to be precise, as I already said, but just make sure that it's secure enough. All right, now let's grab our first vine right here. And we're going to put the roses on our vines randomly. So I'm going to put one at the bottom, I'm going to put one in the middle, and I'm going to put one like at the top somewhere. So for example, close to this leaf right here, I'm going to grab a chain, and I'm just going to grab one side of that chain. So just one strand like that. Okay, then I pull that through, then I grab a strand on our rose again. Okay, pull that through. Then I'm going back into the same chain on our vine, so that is right here. Then I'm going to grab another strand on our rose. Like this. And go through the vine again. Okay, let's do that one last time. So find one strand on the rose again. For example, this one. All right, let's go through the chain like this. All right, that's secure enough. So now let's make a knot, and we do that by finding one strand on a rose for one last time. For example, this one right here, just close to our yarn end. Okay, make a loop, don't pull it through entirely. Make a loop. Now we go through the loop with our darning needle, and by doing that, we're going to make a knot. So now tighten it. Okay, then we can just go into our rose close to the knot that we made, come out at the top, push it through there. Okay, and then we can cut off the yarn. So now our first little rose is secured, and we're going to do that for all of the other roses as well, and I will see you once they're all attached. Alright, so now that all the flowers are attached, we can attach it to the soil. And we will be pulling all of these strands through the middle right here, through the magic circle. However, to do that all at once is a bit too much, so I'm just going to grab 3 of them. So one with 8 leaves, one with 9, and one with 10. I also do that to randomize the lengths more, because if I would grab 3 strands with 8 leaves, then they would all be in the same place maybe. So, all right, so I've got 3 in my hand right here. I'm going through the magic circle, going from the back of our work to the front. So I'm gonna go right in here, gonna push it through like this. Then I'm going to grab these 3 strands and I'm going to pull them through here. Okay. Like that. Now I'm going to do that again. So grab one of these, and one of these. Okay, get the yarn ends all together. We're gonna go through the magic circle from back to front. And grab the yarn ends and pull them through there. Like that. Then I'm going to do that one last time. So grab these all together. Okay, go through the magic circle and pull them through the magic circle as well. All right, so once they are all on here, I'm just going to pull each strand individually to make sure that the chain is close to the magic circle right here. For example, here there's a long strand still, so I'm just going to pull them individually a little bit just to bring them to you know, close to the soil, like that. I'm just going to pull it slightly, and if it becomes more difficult, then the chain is probably next to the magic circle, so then you can stop pulling. All right, so I've pulled them all close to the magic circle. Now you can check a little bit, and that looks correct. So now I'm going to make a knot into all of these strings right here. So I'm just going to make a loop and pull them through like that. Okay, really push it down, push it close to the soil when you are securing it like this. I'm going to make one more knot. That's not necessary, that's not totally necessary, but I'm just doing that to make sure that it's really secure. Okay, get everything through there and pull it once again. All right. Like that. That seems okay. Pull it very tightly. Then we can cut off this of these strands like this. And we can cut off this end of the magic circle as well. All right. So now the vines with the roses are attached to the soil. Now let's sew all of this onto the planter. So for that, grab the same color as you used for the planter. And I'm going to grab my darning needle. Okay, attach that to your yarn. And we're going to sew them together by sewing together the middle parts of the stitches. So, for example, I'm gonna go into this stitch right here, only going through the right loop of the V, close to the basket. Now I'm gonna go into a loop of a stitch which is close to the soil. So, for example, this one right there. So I won't go through the entire stitch. I will only go through the loop of the stitch close to the soil. All right, so you have one brown strand on your needle and one white strand. And just pull it through like that. Then we're going to go to the next one, and we're just going to make this motion. So we're going to go in here And we're gonna go in there, connecting the two parts. Okay, and then pull it through. Like that. We're just going to do this all the way around. Of course, we still need to do the stuffing, but you can do that once there is a little hole left for the basket. You can also already do it right now. Let's first do some sewing. All right, so I've now reached a moment where I want to do my stuffing because I've got some space left for the sewing. So let's just push it in there. And you can make it as firm as you would like. All right, I think that's good right here. So now I'm going to continue sewing the parts together. Let's do one more. Like that. And now we got our two strands right here, the one still attached to our needle and the one still attached of our skein of yarn. So now let's bring this one somewhere over here. So let's go in somewhere close to the yarn end and let's come out of a stitch, for example, this one right here. All right, doesn't matter which one, just so that it's away from there. Now let's cut the yarn of the which is still attached. Let's cut it. And let's bring this yarn end to the same stitch as that one right there. Okay. So go in somewhere close, come out of the same stitch right there. Then we're going to make a double knot into these two strands. I'm going to make this one a bit shorter to make it easier. All right, so just make a knot, cross over, make a knot like this, pull it very tightly, and let's make a second knot to secure it. Okay, then we can cut off these yarn ends. And by that it is all attached. Now let's distribute the vines so that they look nicer. So I like to put like 3 vines on each opening. So I'm just going to grab 3. So these are already 2. I'm going to put that right there. All right, that's 3 right here. Now let's do another 3 right here. 1, 2, and 3. And now there should be 3 here as well. Yeah. All right, so now it's nicely distributed and our little hanging flower plant is finished. All right, so now our little hanging plant with roses is finished, and I hope that you like the way that yours turned out. If you liked the video, don't forget to give the thumbs up. This would really help me a lot. And if you would like to see more videos like this one, please subscribe. And I hope I will see you in another video. So thank you for watching and see you.